Hey guys, it's Tony Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of Chasing Excellence. Hi guys, it's Tony Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of Chasing Excellence. I'm excited to be your host today. With me, I tell you, every week we do these episodes, I get really excited about the guests because they have some great stories, some great journeys, and we've got another great story and a great journey here today. Ashlin Endter, who's the broker owner of 4MG Mortgage in Miami, Florida. Shout out to Miami. Ashlin, thank you for joining me today on Chasing Excellence.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Tony. And 305 forever, or until we move, is what we say, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, first of all, you have a great journey, a great story that I can't wait to get into. Peel the onion back a little bit, as we say when I grew up in South Carolina. But before we get into your story, 4MG Mortgage, when I was doing a little bit of research and I came across the name and then I started reading more about it, girl, like my heart was like, oh yes. So what is 4MG Mortgage? Tell us what it's all about. How'd you get the name?
You know, like any good old mortgage broker who's about to launch their business, everyone's like, so what are you gonna name it? Excellence Mortgage, the yada yada mortgage. And you're just like, I don't know. It has to be something that really, really motivates me to get up every single morning. And I'm like, man, all these names are so nice. And in 2019, we weren't really chat GPTing things yet, but I'm like, what is my why? Like, why am I going to get up every morning and get beat up, right? For things that I can't control. And it really just came down to my girls. So 4MG Mortgage stands for my girls. And that's really where it was born. I giggle, right? And that's how I was looking over here. So both the girls are 3.5 years apart. And at their kindergarten graduations, they, do a slideshow and they say, well, when I grow up, and both of my kids, when I grow up, I want to be a mortgage broker.
Oh,
And
yes.
my other one too. And like everyone's like, whose kids are those? I'm like, those are my daughters. So 4MG Mortgage was born because you know, I do it for my girls. I have two girls. I absolutely love them. I adore them, and they're my reason why I get up every single morning. And I give, the thanks to God that we were able to get up and get back out.
I really love that. I said we all need a why and we all need a reason to do whatever is necessary, which is on my shirt, win. And so just, when I think about that 4MG mortgage, but also when I think about before there was a 4MG, you were in college as a nurse practitioner. So I'm gonna back up for just a second. You've only been in business 6 years. I'll say
Yeah.
that again. You've only been in business 6 years. You own a brokerage. You're a top producing originator. Also, at the same time, you built a team over the last year and a half in your organization as well. And so, you know, all of us have a story about how we got into the mortgage industry, Ashlyn. What's your story?
So to backtrack a little bit, graduated in 2012, had my CNA, bridged into my LPN, got into like medical assisting world as I was studying at FIU. And I was going to be like, that was it. I was gonna be a surgeon. I was gonna be a surgeon. I was gonna be a doctor. Like I had, my eyes set on the prize. And I ended up just sticking to the nursing route at the time and then health service administration because I literally failed chemistry and finite math. It was the craziest thing. And I ended up on welfare. I ended up on welfare. Became extremely
Yeah.
depressed. I saw a lot of things in the medical world. I was that very excited kid for the future. Like I graduated high school, no more 7 a.m. bells, right? Rolling out of bed, and there was no guidance as to what the real world has. I didn't know that I was going to see people dying. I didn't know I was going to see kids going through clinical trials when we knew the medicine that was going to make them better. I didn't know that I was going to be in rooms with people coding, and it just became a very dark place for me. So I fell into a very, very deep almost like depressive state, right? Like I think that's just one of the things. And I quit school. I ended up on welfare And then
Wow.
in 2019, I got a phone call like, "Hey, I can't pass my real estate exam. Let's do mortgage." And I was like, in my very Miami voice, I was like, "But what? Like, what is a mortgage?" I'm still, mom and dad are helping me, getting me back on my feet. And that was a phone call that changed my life.
Wow. Wow. I always say that we never know how our lives will change with just one decision. And, the decision that you made to enter into the mortgage business and then look at it and think about the inspiration in that journey of chasing excellence. That's why we call this chasing excellence.
Yeah,
But also, your decision and mindset to just win. This shirt says it all. That's why I wear it a lot to
I love it.
remind everybody, including myself, that sometimes in life you must do whatever is necessary to win. And that is the spirit, that is the focus and the passion that I believe separates good from great and great from awesome. And so, congratulations on your journey thus far. You're not done. We're going to talk a little bit more about your success here, but man, what a journey in terms of where you started and kind of where you are today, man. That's really cool. That's why I love asking everybody, "What's your story?" Because it is a beautiful story on top of that as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the industry. As a broker owner, a top producer, a leader as well, what do you see as one of the biggest challenges in our industry, at least in your purview today?
I mean, from the broker owner standpoint or from the originator standpoint,
Either one, Ashley.
um, there are so many problems in our business. I need to start with the first one, the urgency. I know this is like a total curveball, but everything is not an emergency. Everyone who sees this is gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not calling her." We have deadlines. We have set expectations. We have things we need to get done. But this business has become a place where we just have a dysregulated emotional pattern. Everything is not an emergency. Like, I get it. You want to buy her under contract? We're going to get them under contract, but we have to do our job. Everything just is a fire hose 24/7, 365, even on Easter Sunday. Like, it doesn't have to be that way, but we've allowed it to be that way because if the phone rings and you missed a phone call, your realtor partner sends the lead to somebody else because you didn't answer the phone on Sunday when you're at church with your kids.
Is that
Um,
because of the scarcity mindset?
it is, it is, it is, and I think like it really just translates into that, and we are so used to being connected 24/7, 365. That's not normal. And I'm really getting to a place in my business where I'm creating boundaries, and it's scary. It's scary as crap, but I also need to be able to be present and be a good mom and be a good, just leader. And you can't do that when you're burnt out. I think that's one of the biggest things we're taught: work more, do more, show up, give everything, sacrifice yourself, make all the money. And then it's like, for what? Your kids hate you. You can't stay married.
Yeah.
Your spouse hates you. Your parents hate you, and your people hate you because you became about like a dictator. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I see right now where I'm like exhausted. It's crazy. The scarcity mindset, I get it. We've been in difficult markets for some time.
Yeah.
Loans are not falling out of the sky. People are not fighting to put in offers all day, every day. Some people have lost things and they've had to go back to work, but we don't have to live like this.
Mm. Well, and I also think, given where you've been in your history, when you talk about being in, the emergency room or being in a hospital and you're hearing code red or code nine, and someone is getting coded, that puts a lot of things in perspective. When you see people who have much larger problems, I like to say,
Yeah.
than, just meeting a closing date or getting something to an operations or a lender to get signed off. When there's no sign off for tomorrow, that's a whole different perspective to look at in terms of what you're doing.
I think, you put it in such a good way. Like there is no sign off for tomorrow if you don't wake up.
Yeah.
And, the last year I have seen a few people who are originators who have had the pleasure of crossing paths with die from the stress. They say, oh, what is it, the widow's, whatever, the widow's peak or whatever it is that people, and it's like, no, that's the mortgage peak. Like if we don't take care of ourselves, what was all of this for? And I had a really big shift in my life last year where I was like, man, I am working like a dog and my kids don't care about the things that I buy them. They want their mom present.
Yeah.
And that's scary because it's like, okay, I'm not going to answer my phone at 10 p.m. because I should be sleeping so that I can be present with my kids at breakfast tomorrow. It's scary. It's scary. The scarcity mindset is not something that we all hold. It's the people that surround us a lot of the times. And it's just a weird place to be in.
I always say that you have two choices every day. You can run your business or you can let your business run you. And unfortunately, a lot of originators, a lot of leaders in our industry, um, they feel the need to react to everything. They feel the need to be online 24/7, and they're letting the business run them versus them living a more significant, a more intentional life. And so I want to applaud you. I know it's going to be hard, but
It is.
but you know, here's the thing I will tell you, having raised kids, um, they don't remember how many loans you closed over the course of your career. But what they do remember is the time that you were there and you showed up. And so just remember that because you never get an opportunity to buy back time.
Yep.
You never get an opportunity to buy back time. Talking about time, talk about presence, motivation. You hit the nail on the head earlier that this industry is not an easy industry to be in. So, Ashlyn, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay focused?
I think motivation is crap. That's the reality. I can be
Okay.
motivated right now, and in 30 seconds, I can be just a completely unmotivated. I think inspired is the right word. I think motivation just comes and goes in the waves, and just depending on how you're feeling. But just to kind of share it and put in perspective, like I made a 3 years sober yesterday. I've
Oh,
been sober, yeah, I've been sober from alcohol for
congratulations.
3 years. Thank you, and I now get messages that you inspire me to change
Mm.
my drinking habits.
Wow.
Inspiration is something that will drive someone to feel whatever it is in here and have them take that first step. I have now received, I think, 8 messages between yesterday and today. I just wanted to let you know I've been following your journey. I'm 60 days sober. I'm going to keep going. I'm 100 days sober. I'm like 40 days in. Just people are like, I've watched you talk about your sobriety journey and mortgage, which is like one of the hardest things because you know how it is.
Wow.
Good day, drink, bad day, drink. Before I used to cold call, take a shot, right? Like, here comes the rejection. Let's take some shots. So I think motivation is not what gets me up. It's not what keeps me motivated. It's the inspiration. And it's the inspiration to make a difference. I see so many crazy, crappy originators out there that don't even talk to their clients, don't fight for their clients, don't advocate for their clients. I see so many Hispanic borrowers, because I'm half Hispanic, that are absolutely getting put into horrible loan terms because someone has Spanish documents and they're charging them 3 points because they have access to these docs. I am inspired by the fact that I can make a difference in this world through mortgages, through stability. The facts of the matter is like the amount of domestic violence abuse goes down, the stability in a household. Like there is so much that goes into what we are doing, building that generational wealth. And I know there's people that are like, buying a house is a scam. Like, okay, Dave Ramsey followers, do whatever you want. But like, I am changing generational pathways. And that to me is what keeps me inspired.
All right, Ashley, you about to make me cry, girl. I'm looking for my napkins over here now. But I tell you what, um, that inspiration is powerful. And first of all, I just want to congratulate you on your journey.
Thank you.
I named this podcast Chasing Excellence because I know that, excellence is never achieved in my opinion, but it's the journey of becoming just a little better today than you were yesterday. And I just want to just show my love, my appreciation, and really recognize you for just chasing excellence and trying to become better for you, your girls, your family, your team, and what you're doing. And so drive on, bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Man, like I said, girl, I think this might be the first episode that I start breaking some tears down. So I'm trying to hang in here. Now you didn't
We're
tell me it
breaking
was going to be like
generations,
this when
man.
we were talking. So, but I love it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Talking
I honor
about
you and I hold that space with you.
absolutely, absolutely. We talked earlier about challenges, but as a broker owner, what do you see as an opportunity in our industry today?
You know, as a broker owner and also as an originator, because I speak from
Yeah.
both aspects. As a broker owner, the opportunity I believe is the power to say like yes and no. Like yes, I'm going to offer that program because I have a cohort that needs it. And no, we're not going to be doing that because it's just not something that serves us or our clients well, or cutting relationships or saying, I can't stand my account executive. Please get me somebody else. I hated being at other shops where it was like, well, we love our AE. I'm like, because you send 82 loans there and I send 5 loans a month. And of course they love you. They never answer me and keep me on hold, right? So I like as a broker owner having the power to choose and listening to my team members' needs. Hey, I need loans that have access to like, foreign nationals, better access to not having to do like translated documents, right? Because that's hard. Um, advantages as an originator, dude, there's so much opportunity out there right now. I know that everybody's like obsessed with interest rates and gas prices and why can't I have a 3%? But there are so many opportunities out there right now. And I think it's just such a phenomenal market that gives so much. And I know like we just that's what I tell everyone. Stop selling interest rates, sell the mortgage payment. So often people are like, well, what rate did I get? And I'm like, this rate. And they're like, wow, that's high. Like, why are we talking about rate? There is so much opportunity right now for seller concessions, for price reductions. I mean, you name it, you can have it. I have clients who are literally getting seller concessions to be able to cancel out their fee for being able to cut their lease early, right? There are so many things that we can do right now to serve the client better, and that gets me hyped. That gets me so hyped. Like I'm so excited. We've had a tough, I can't say it's been a tough 2 years. It's been tougher, I feel like, in being able to help people qualify, but I feel like there's still been a ton of business. There's been a lot of opportunity. I can't ignore it and say like it hasn't been a tougher market because it has, but it's still one that gives so much opportunity for those that are looking for it.
I always tell originators that the market we're in today um, is a good market.
Yeah,
And, if you're in sales, you want to be in a good market. You live for the great markets, but good markets are where you actually have a chance to elevate. Good markets are where you get a chance to hone your skills. Because when you're in great markets, all you're trying to do is survive. You drink from the fire hose, you're in the money box where the money is blowing up in the air and you're trying to catch all the money you can. Those are the great years, but they come every once in a while. But good
yeah,
years are where you actually learn how to elevate your craft. And we're in the good years period where for the next several years, originators have to look at their business and say, how do I become 1% better? How do I hone my craft so that I can leverage data and I can also leverage how to compete in a market to differentiate myself. And so these are the markets that I love because it really are opportunities where people, if they focus on chasing excellence, they
yeah,
will become better each and every day.
100%. It's where I always say like the difference between good and great is a little bit of effort. Like
Great.
I think
You know, be-
sometimes we just look at it for so far out. It's like I have so much to do, but just do the one thing. Just do the one
One
thing.
thing. That's it. Before we close out, I have one question, but my heart is going back to our conversation earlier, and I just want to send a special message out to those in the audience that if there's a person out there who is seeking to become better, and they want to make a change and feel like maybe you don't have the right ecosystem, the right support network, or maybe you just need a friend or someone to just help you take that first step to say no, to become better, to make today the beginning of the beginning. Reach out to me. If it's okay, Ashlyn, can they reach out to you as well? Because I just felt like there's somebody out there that needed to hear your message. And I want to make sure they know that they too can be like you, that their story can have a great ending and a great beginning, and that they're not alone. And so I just wanted to put that out there because when we talked about your journey, um, I know that a lot of us go through journeys in our lives, and we need to understand you don't have to take those journeys by yourself, that people do care and there's help for you. And so I wanted to just put that out there for whoever that may apply to. Feel free to hit me up on any of my uh, contacts, or my team. We'll make sure we get you and I connected as well. Ashlyn, I tell you, man, it has been whoo! It has been for me. I mean, like, I'm supposed to be the interviewer and enjoy you. Again, girl, you making me like, okay. Before we leave, I always like to leave with gratitude and thankfulness. And so, what are you most grateful for?
Man, it's supposed to be you crying, not me. Um, mm, Essentially gonna say I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for the failures. I mean,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I am. I was adopted. My mom is somewhere walking out there in Brickell in the streets, and she didn't have a good childhood, and I'm sure she still loves me. I'm sure she just thinks about me every day. And my mom was white and my dad was black, so I'm half Hispanic, half black. And I guess in the 90s that still wasn't accepted, which is crazy to me. But you know, I could have I could have been the statistic. I should have been the statistic. That's the reality. And someone like me who has a beautiful story of just a failure after failure after failure, when I tell you that even today sometimes it feels like a failure because there are things that are outside of my control, but I'm grateful for the peaks and the valleys that have gotten me to where I am today. I would not be the woman I am. I would not be the role model I am for my daughters. I would not be in this seat having this conversation with you if it weren't for the fact that I've been through thousands of trials and tribulations, and I know that there's going to be
Yeah.
more. So I am thankful for the highs and the lows, and I'm grateful for the ones that are coming because they will continue to make me who I am and allow me to continue being the person that I needed to be for someone else. There are so many people out there who are hurting silently, who need hope, who need someone. And it's what I tell everyone, dude, like you're not supposed to be alone. So I am most grateful and have the most gratitude for the hard moments in my life that have molded me and being able to look back and say, like, hey God, like it felt really hard, but you were there with me. You never abandoned me. So that's what I'm grateful for.
You know, I am grateful for you
Thank
telling your story. I'm grateful for you sharing your journey because I want you to know that your story, your journey, your openness, your willingness is going to impact someone else's life. Is going to change someone else's life. And so I'm just grateful that we're using this platform for good. We're using this platform to elevate and uplift people from around the country and around the world, one story, one journey at a time. And so, Gretchen, thank you for joining me here on Chasing Excellence. Um, Again, the beginning is not the end, and your end is only the beginning.
you.
I'll say that again. The beginning is not the end, and your end is only the beginning. And every day, if you focus on just getting a little better, you will find yourself becoming better each and every day.
Mhm.
I'm Tony Thompson, your host for Chasing Excellence. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation with Ashwin as much as I have. We look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Take care.
Whatever is necessary.